I'm Michael J. I'm a certified mind body business consultant, and I would really like to share some tips for virtual teaching and creating community. A little bit about myself. My background, I had 20 years of running my own marketing and advertising agency and 13 years of running a yoga studio, owning and running a yoga studio, really successful studio. And I sold that 3 years ago and have been since then been consulting and helping other boutique fitness and yoga studios succeed. A little bit about my studio. When I had the business, my success in that business was about creating community. Right from the day that I opened, that was one of my mandates, was to create community within the studio space and also connect to the studio outside of the community, the studio space. And I did a really great job of that. And what I'm finding now since COVID, and many of us have, including myself, have had to pivot to teaching online, is that it's not the same, but we can recreate as close as possible that community engagement feeling in a virtual platform. So here's a few tips of how I'm doing it right now. First thing is, I'm always on my class. I turn up onto my Zoom class 15 minutes before it starts. My studio space, people always came early to connect with each other. And I'm finding right now, even though it's a virtual platform, people are craving connection. And so that 15 minutes before, people are turning up early, they're chit-chatting, they're engaging with each other, and they're fulfilling that need that they miss from the in-studio experience. So just being there online and creating that space for people to be able to do that is super important in my experience. The other thing is Fitgrid has got it set so that when people log on, the camera's automatically turned off. I am a very interactive teacher, and my students know that. So I always request that they turn their camera on. So I ask them to. If they don't want to, I completely honor that, and that's absolutely fine. But I do find that if you make the request, people will turn it on. And you can also, and they're also sometimes confused on how to turn it on. So on Zoom, you can actually send a little request to help them turn it on. There's a little button there. So I'm asking people to turn the camera on so that there's more engagement. The second thing is acknowledging every single person by name when they log on. When I had the in-person studio, I had a mandate that my teachers could not be stretching on their mat or busy with other things. I always wanted them up front, by the front door or the front desk, and welcoming every single person as they came on by name. And I am finding that super important in the virtual platform too. People want to feel acknowledged. Mostly, not always, but people want to feel acknowledged. So I really recommend taking that time to welcome them online by name and have a little talk to them, ask them how they're doing, have that connection, create that community feeling. So that's before class. During class, I am a very interactive teacher, so if you're recording your classes for video on demand, this method may not work for you because of the engagement part of it, but for the actual experience for the customers, I'm finding that this engagement really works. And that is, I'm teaching still. I was very interactive in the studio. I would always stop a class if I could see something going on and wanted to teach. I would stop a class and then use a student and sort of highlight that student and say, let's take a look at this pose. I'm doing that same thing virtually. It's just a little bit different. I am lucky that I've had students that have been with me for 15, 16 years. So I have really good, solid relationships with a lot of the clients. So I'm able to, the ones that I know are going to be comfortable with it, I'm able to say, let's take a look at this pose, and then I'll go, Bridget, do you mind if I spotlight you? And so I take a moment, so I get their permission first. I always ask them for permission first, and then I will spotlight them in Zoom so that they take up the whole screen, and then I'll talk them through into the pose and use that as a teaching moment for the customers. And so I found that's really great to try and recreate that learning environment that a yoga studio or fitness boutique should be. It shouldn't be like a YouTube video. Anybody can go onto YouTube and watch a flow. When they're coming online, there should be this kind of back and forth thing happening. The other thing that I've been doing that's been really successful is I teach a core yoga class, and I've been challenging them. So we've been a few months online in this virtual platform, and we've been doing a bit of a challenge each week with the plank pose. And so over the months, we've built up to, I think we're at 2 minutes and 15 seconds in our plank pose right now. And what I've been doing during that timed plank pose is unmuting everybody and asking them to unmute themselves if they want to, with their permission. And then while I'm timing their plank, we have this banter back and forth, just like we would have in the in-studio experience, but it's in a virtual way. And they can call me names when I'm making them hold a plank pose, and we can joke around a little bit. And that chit-chat has been super fun, but also with the challenge, it's been helping, encourage people to come back and challenge themselves in the next core class. So just sort of unmuting and having that back and forth connection has been really, really successful. At the end of class, don't be afraid to ask for reviews. Reviews are very helpful for a business. First of all, for the teachers, it really it encourages them that they're doing a great job. I always used to send and encourage my studios to send a copy of those reviews to the instructors to sort of empower them and make them feel good. But also when customers are looking for a new studio and they read those reviews, it's very, very helpful for building up a business. So I'm never afraid to ask for a review. I mean, people don't have to, but if you ask quite often, they will leave a review. Personally, I am loving teaching virtually. I'm loving not commuting to the studio right now. I think it's fantastic. We're so lucky to have this platform that we can pivot our businesses to an online virtual platform. If you'd like any help with teaching or empowering studios or students, you can follow me on my social media, which is @YogaBizChamp, or you can even book a free 30-minute strategy through my website at www.michaeljonline.com. I am really loving helping everybody right now, especially in this time. And if you'd like to reach out, I'd certainly spend some time with you to help create a strategy for your virtual business. Thanks for joining me today.